What are the benefits of implementation research?
There are a number of proven interventions that are supposed to be applied in LMICs. What we realize, however, is that these, though proving effective, are not realizing the targets that are usually set. And that is the more reason why implementation research, which is more about, proven interventions, and if it happens that there are things that are not going too well, then we bring in implementation research, identify what challenge. The interesting thing is that, again, implementation research allows us, the opportunity to identify those things that are not working, and then also to, as it were, bring in solutions to ensure that indeed we are able to achieve whatever targets that are set. And so, to a very large extent, I would say that implementation research has become more important. In recent times, that we do not want to, as it were, spend so much. Cutting down on expenses and all. And so, if we know exactly how an invention can actually be introduced to a community for it to realize its maximum impact, then I think that, of course, implementation research gives us that opportunity, and therefore we should see it as very, very important.
Can you share an IR project example that demonstrates its usefulness and the solution it offered?
The very first one has to do with long-lasting insecticide nets that are, in the market as far as Ghana is concerned. The realization, however, is that these long-lasting insecticide nets have been proven to work, fighting against malaria. However, people do not put it to the right use. In fact, those who also access it, they are either not sleeping in it or putting it to, some uses that are not prescribed. And we wanted to find out exactly why, even though it works, and for something that works, and if you have people not using it, then it means there are, either implementation challenges or, some challenge of a sort. And for this, we used implementation research to get into communities to find out exactly how they would want long-lasting insecticide nets to be even distributed, how, and all that. Now, at the end of the day, what we found out, and that's by way of solution, is that there was need for community people to be part of any decision in respect of rolling out long-lasting insecticide nets, and even also getting into community homes and reaching out to community people as to how best to put the long-lasting insecticide nets into use. And this yielded what we call a community health advocacy team. And at the end of the day, what we realize is that this community health advocacy team are the ones within the community who are actually spearheading the use of long-lasting insecticide nets and actually trying to provide education, some advocacy and all that. Now, what we realize is that with the involvement of the community people, long-lasting insecticide nets are now being used a lot more, unlike when community people were really not part. And this brings to the fore the importance of getting community people involved when it has to do with some of the interventions. The other one has to do with treatment for tuberculosis. Now, tuberculosis treatment is available. However, what we realize is that people are either faulting in taking it, or are not showing up at all. And for us to know why some of these things are happening, again, implementation research was used to identify some of the problems that are associated with the non-use of the tuberculosis treatment, and very interesting findings. And generally, I would say that implementation research allows us to identify and, get to know exactly what the challenges are, and then at the same time, being able to come up with solutions to, as it were, address those problems. So there is need to emphasize the fact that implementation research thrives on teamwork. Every expert that would be required needs to be on board if we really want to make progress. And for me, as a social scientist, I have always come on, the various teams that I have worked with, as somebody who does community engagement. And I mean, in the earlier example that I gave, that getting community people involved, helps, like for us to, as it were, be able to really get to know what problems are on the ground. And you can't just get up and say that I am just getting into a community and that I'll be able to get, if you like, input. It takes somebody who comes with that requisite experience of being able, community people, to engage them, the various community, in fact, even making sure that appropriate community entry is done. This cannot just be done by anybody unless somebody who comes with that expertise, somebody who over a period has done this and therefore comes with, that experience to be able to bring, community people on board. And that's exactly what I have done over the period that I've been involved in doing implementation research.
Do you recommend the IR self-assessment framework for developers of IR projects?
For us in Ghana, there's a very good example that we can share. Now, this was a project that realized that there are several implementation research-related materials. And it so happens that people get to know some of it and not all of it. And so for us, what we try to do in this project, thanks to WHO TDR, what we did was to identify people, and these were program managers, and took them through all the relevant implementation research materials that are available. After that, what we tried to do was to now ask them, based on the knowledge that they have received, to develop implementation research projects that was going to be giving some, mini fund for them to undertake that project. And thankfully, at the end of the day, we got 3 of them that were selected, and all 3, with the knowledge that they got and being able to write a very successful implementation research project, they have been able to undertake the project as we speak. I mean, this is a typical example of, through virtually everything. And I'm relating this to the framework, which definitely will be something that will be very, very useful